And here we are. Welcome to our first podcast from the Golf is Ruining My Life Scottish Adventure. And you find us in the clubhouse.
We're in a turret, Tom.
We're a turret!
Forget clubhouse. We are in the clubhouse of the Jubilee course. We're up a turret. We have just played 18 holes of the Jubilee. And hopefully you will have now watched the videos on YouTube of us playing those 18 holes. And where do we start? Tom?
I think we can just lay the land of what this trip is now. We can start talking about it really open and honestly. So over the next couple of weeks, you're going to see a load of amazing videos that we drop. So you've already seen the front nine and the back nine of the Jubilee course.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'd like to do next?
Go on.
I'd love Crail.
Okay.
Are we doing Crail?
How about we go and do Crail tomorrow?
Okay, but then, I know what I'd really like.
Tell me.
I don't think we can say it yet. I don't think we're allowed to say it yet. Because we've got to be like, last minute, dun dun dun.
Okay, we're not going to say it.
We're not going to say it,
but
it's
something
amazing.
exciting will be happening, coming to your screens in May, June, July.
Can I just explain that we're sitting in this turret at the Jubilee Clubhouse because there are like 9 different courses at St Andrews, and to my right, straight ahead of Tom, is the beginning of the famous first hole, of course. And that begins the old course. And then to my left now, behind you, Tom, you can see the old course, the new course, the Jubilee course in the distance. You can see the driving range. There's heather everywhere. The undulations are incredible. It's sort of evening time. It's about 8 p.m. We're recording this. There is maybe it's just the tiredness that's sinking in, but there's a sort of weird calm to this place that is
amazing,
intangible.
It's really nice. So we went and played a little warm-up 14-16 on the Eden yesterday, which was really cool, really amazing. But what we experienced today with the Jubilee far surpasses the Eden in my opinion. The Eden was really good, but the Jubilee was super special out there. There were a couple of holes, especially towards the back nine. I think it was maybe 16 and 17, maybe 15 and 16, where there was heather all down the left and right, and you really had to shape shots, and you had to hit really tight fairways. Whereas this is really cool. This is a really special course. And
the other thing as well about so many of these links courses, a lot of them do it, is you go straight out, do a little twiddle at the end, and then you come back in. So if the wind is prevailing in one direction, which of course it has been today, so all the way out the wind was left to right, which I liked because it gave me something to fight against, because I hit a natural fade and that made me close my stance and just try and come around on it a bit, and that helped me find a bit of accuracy, and I had a lovely first 9 which I won. If you've watched the video now, if you've watched versus.
Can I just say on this, I just want to stop you there because I know you've probably come off that feeling a little bit deflated.
I do feel deflated.
That opening 9 from you was the best golf I've ever seen you play.
Thanks, mate.
It was absolutely amazing.
I was nearly 1 under par.
You should have been 1 under par.
I missed a putt
9.
that was about a foot long. It
was amazing.
It was great, and I appreciate that. And it was, as ever. In fact, you were saying this the other day with a round. You had a great round the other day. There's a lot of luck. There's a few shots where I went a bit left, and then suddenly, like there was the 8th, I think it is. There's like a bowl around the green, and the bowl just turned it onto and I had this holeable birdie putt. So. I did have luck, but I was hitting it really pure. And then the back 9, because the wind direction changed.
And you were tired. There was a bit of tiredness, I think, that came in on the back 9.
I'm not an evening golfer.
No, I know. So if you've not seen it, so firstly, if you're listening to this just as a podcast, please go into the YouTube channel and watch this, because we're normally in our dingy little studios.
How dare you? It's very well lit.
Neon lit studios. Whereas now we are in the home of golf, so that you need to go and see it. And if you've not watched the front 9, the back 9, obviously that's online as well, to go and see it. But it was just really special out there today.
It's good.
You won the first, I won the second 9.
Yes.
But I feel like it was, I don't know if this made the cut, I described us both as smelly cheeses, okay? And I thought you were just the stinkier bishop on the back 9.
Okay. You were a sort of curdled goat.
Oh God, I was curdled, man.
I was just the goat for the first 9.
You were actually.
The cheese analogies can go on and on. I don't even like cheese. No, I don't think it was me falling away that won you. That helped, but you played some really solid stuff.
There's some nice moments in there. I think the front 9 was really good. We hit some really nice golf shots, and just towards the end of the back 9, I found a little bit of feel with my putter.
Yes, you did,
which was really helpful.
I liked it when you stood in a bunker and took your putter, sort of while standing in a bunker. That was extraordinary.
They often say with YouTube golf, it's like, we often get this all the time, is it saturated? Are there enough content creators? Who have you seen take a putter out of a bunker? Ricky Shields ain't doing that.
No, he's
Eric
not.
Anders Lang ain't doing that.
No, he's not.
Bryson DeChambeau definitely ain't doing that. Four Brothers might do that.
Yeah, they would
They
definitely
could do
that.
that. But I've done it.
You did it. And
It
you
worked.
You played a lovely. You played a lovely shot.
Man.
Yeah, I actually found myself in a bunker on. I think that was the 17th, maybe. And I found myself in a pot bunker on the fairway. And that's a really interesting thing about these sorts of courses, that you know, most courses, if you find a bunker on the fairway, it's a low lip, and you think, I can hit a 6-iron.
Yeah,
maybe
7-iron.
I can get maybe 150 yards out of here. But a pot bunker that's 200 yards away,
It's a joke.
You're playing a splash shot onto the fairway, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And I took 2 out of the bunker, and I then described it. I don't know if this made the cut. I described it when I was raking in my own bunker after that disaster as a lot like having to do the gardening on your own grave, which was probably a bit dark.
Oh dear, that's horrible.
I probably shouldn't have.
You were having a bad time, weren't you?
I was just really tired.
He was sad and tired.
I was sad and tired. But still, overawed by this place. It is absolutely magical, and I can't tell. Every now and again, just looking out from this weird turret that we're in.
We're in a turret. Can't express that enough.
Looking out onto the course, and you can see lots of people still playing. The new course 18th is right beneath us. There's a 4-ball coming down here. In the distance, the mountains. It's wonderful.
It's really weird as well, because we both love golf. I've played golf since I was 12. You played golf for a similar.
So I was 13.
Yeah. And how on earth have we lived in this country and we've not done the 4-5 hours, whether it's by train, the hour by flight, and come here?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, famously, if you've watched the podcast before, I played Dornoch a couple of years ago, 3 years ago now.
But you didn't come to St Andrews?
Didn't come to St Andrews, no.
Which is a
Dornoch's
crime.
that much further up, so we just went on up there and played a few courses up there. But it is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And also really, I think a lot of people probably think of it as inaccessible, not just geographically, but also I'm not good enough to do that.
Yeah.
And that's something to sort of comment on this whole place. First of all, the people here are so lovely. All the guys that work at St Andrews, they couldn't have been more welcoming to us. But also when you play it, obviously it's a student town, city actually, is it city? Not sure. And there's a lot of students around. They are playing out on the course. There's a lot of kids playing out on the course.
It's way friendlier than I thought it was going to be.
Way friendlier, but it's this really strange combination. It's like you're on this municipal course where there are also Americans with caddies. Like it's a mad combo, isn't it?
It is really strange, because on the few courses that I've played that are similar to this sort of reputation, as in your Wentworths, right? And yes, I know Wentworth isn't the old course, but
don't you'll trigger the comments.
I know. No, I don't. But still, great. The vibe is totally different. Wentworth is quiet. It's very well to do. It's posh. And this place has all the prestige, but the friendliness of, as Tom says, that you're out there with students. You are out there with a lot of American, what feel like billionaires with caddies.
They do have those vibes, but everyone's super nice.
Everyone's so friendly. And I think what I would say is, we've got an Airbnb just out of town. Wasn't expensive.
No.
Okay, and you can come down here. We were chatting in the clubhouse earlier that you can put your name down on the ballot.
Yeah, what are the odds then with the ballot? How does that work? So Tom did that classic thing where he sort of peels off and starts having a conversation with someone.
Yeah.
And 10 minutes later, I'm like, what was that all about? It's like, well, I've just met John, who's in charge of the ballot. So take me through what that was.
So the ballot's fascinating. It's really hard to get us understanding on what your odds are and getting in, because it all depends how many people put their name down, and that changes vastly. So let's look at tomorrow. So you put your name down the day before for the next day, right? Yeah. So tomorrow there are 57 names down on the ballot.
Okay.
Some days she was like, there's just 8 names, and everyone gets away.
Oh wow.
And it all depends who doesn't turn up or who gets on the 2-ball ballot. And if you're a member here, you don't have to take guests. So this was interesting. If you're just playing here as a member and you've got 2 spaces free, you don't have to have someone play with you. But she was saying the vast majority of members go, of course.
That doesn't surprise me.
Get people away.
Yeah.
So come down here. You're surrounded by amazing golf. Okay, maybe you can't get away on the old.
It doesn't matter if, like us, we couldn't get one on the old. It was way too busy. We couldn't even get away on the new, but they stuck us on the Jubilee, and it was magnificent.
Yeah.
And that is the thing. It's really accessible. From the guys working at the range, the whole town/city, TBC, has got that feeling. Everywhere you walk, it's like you're in a normal sort of place, and every now and again, just a fully fledged golfer just walks past you. It's surreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely worth coming to the town, getting an Airbnb, getting your name on the ballot, and then trying to play maybe some of the other courses that are around here, which are a bit easier to get on. I don't know how hard it is to get onto the Eden, but it doesn't feel like it wasn't rammed when we were playing, so you could probably get away with on it a bit easier. Yeah, the old course is a whole different thing, but stick your name on the ballot, or go over to King's Barnes. Yes, it's expensive, or over to Crail, which is a bit cheaper. There's loads of amazing golf around here. It's golf Disney.
It's absolutely magnificent.
Golf Disney.
I think of it more as golf Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
And Weir and Palumpas.
Yeah, I feel like a bit of an umpa-lumpa after how I played today.
Some of the shots we played today were there was really bad golf out there, but also, and I really hope you've watched the YouTube vids, there's been some good stuff. We have both played some really good stuff. And my main conclusion with you is this is the first time we filmed together for 2 years, really. You have improved so much. And it's
Thanks, Price.
It's not just those lovely pin clubs. What is it, do you think, that has taken you and made you... I think you're like 10 shots better than you were.
Yeah, I think I've come a long way. I think playing a lot more has helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know...
Playing with me, maybe?
Yes, playing with Price. Yeah, of course. Two things have definitely helped. I don't want to say it's all because of the pin clubs, but the pin clubs have given me distance where I never had distance.
Yeah.
Being able to hit a 4-iron, my last 4-iron I pretty much shanked, so it's weird to say this, but being able to pretty regularly hit a 4 or 5-iron up to 200 yards is a game changer. Having that forward off the tee, if you've not going and seen the front nine, the back nine, that's what I'd say was the big difference in my game, is having that forward that I could take off. I barely took my driver today, which was really nice. So
and that was a mistake I made. I took mine too much.
Yeah.
On the back nine.
And putting my weight, and I know we don't like when I say I sway, but taking that weight onto the back foot and then trying to bring it onto the front foot has just made my iron shots a lot more consistent.
Yeah, and how are you feeling about the short game? Because I know you were having a bit of a wobble with the short game.
My wedges are all over the place. And even my bumper runs are a bit ropey as well.
It's funny though, isn't it? The things that underpin your game. So for me, what underpins my game is my wedge game.
Yeah.
Like my 100 yards in, that's like, I'm a scratch handicapper with that stuff. And when other things start to go well, like my driving was really good for the first 9, those things start to fall down.
Yeah.
And so what I had actually for the first 9 today, everything was working.
Your wedges were great. You did half an hour practicing wedges, and then you came out here and hit. There was one, I think it was on the front 9, where I duffed that chip. This is where my game started to go a bit wrong today. I think I was playing okay before that, but I had a bit of a duffed chip.
Yeah.
And you took this wedge. It did one hop and grabbed and release.
Yeah.
And I thought, F me, that's a proper wedge shot.
It was. Really
this is when you were looking dangerous, and I was worried.
But it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, that's a big conclusion from today. If I eliminate the back 9 for a moment, my front 9 before we played, I spent half an hour out on their chipping practice. You were hitting shots on the range and I was just practicing my chipping, and I was making all sorts of mistakes, and I remembered my sort of natural chipping game, and I took it out, and then I got up and down 2 or 3 times in that front 9, and that is what you have. And all the pros are like this as well. If you want to hit a good score, you have to scramble.
It's quite weird coming from a Parkland golf course though, and especially those little bump and run shots on a Parkland golf club. There's just a bit more underneath the ball,
the spongier.
It's a bit spongier, and I really need that. Like there's so many bumper runs that I did today that I thinned, literally sculled, because there's nothing under the ball.
Yes.
And at this point you go, okay, you Dan Grieve it, you take a 58 degree. I'm not that guy, so I need to find. And this is, do you know what? This is my one thing that I'm finding with these new irons. Is my old irons were quite spongy. So you can have a spongy 9-iron at work, whereas I've got these forged blades now, which I love hitting full shots in, but these bump and runs are a little bit...
You know what you need to do before we play?
Go on.
You need to go and practice your chipping half an hour. Because it's just that thing, sometimes you get into a sort of practice zone where, like, the guys came over to film me practicing, because obviously we've got our brilliant crew here filming us.
Yes.
And I was like, you're not going to get any chat from me, team. Because I'm just
dialed in pre-game.
I just wanted to play good stuff, and I wanted to be able to get up and down, and it's that thing of practicing with no kind of intention, if that makes sense. Practicing when there's not a specific thing I'm practicing. It's not like I'm just trying to hit the ball crisper. It's just like, just hit balls, just chip,
find
the feel, find that Bob Rotella having fun thing. Which I think helped you today with your putting. You were citing Bob. Have fun.
That was it. As soon as I started having fun with my putting, and I wasn't overthinking it all and being like, oh, I'm a bit unsure with this, I'm hitting them a bit far. As soon as I'm just going to have some fun with this, my putting got so much better. Before we go to some lovely products.
Oh, I would love some products. I want to bask in commerce.
I've not looked at the card yet, but I think you were, 10-ish over, something like that?
So I shot scratch around the first 9.
Oh, so how many times do you think you've watched the video edit? Now it's out there.
Yeah, it'll be. Most days we'll start with it. Gather round, family. Daddy, why do you wake us up at 5 o'clock every morning to watch this? I'm going to be cross about it, missing that part on 8. But listen, that's golf, and it was great.
It was great golf.
And then I shot 10-ish over on the back 9. It's not good. So 10 over, but 10 over. The wind's blowing. It's our first round of our Scottish tour.
Yeah.
If you told me at the beginning you're going to get 10 over, I'd have absolutely bitten your arm off.
And I shot a 17 over, so I shot an 89.
Yeah.
Which, again, it felt pretty scrappy out there at parts.
Yeah.
I'm weirdly okay with a 17 over because I think a 9.7, which is I'm on, would have given me 13, 14 shots today. So I'm not a million miles worse than my handicap. And there was points today. It was only on 17 that I hold a half decent long putt.
Yes.
Really struggling.
And our match by then was done.
Yeah.
So there was no pressure.
Yeah.
You've just got to start holding those when it matters. Listen, I would love to hear about some products. Shall we have a quick look?
Oh gosh, I love products.
Come on, here we go. Hello, welcome back to Golf is Ruining My Life, the first of our Scottish Tour specials. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching.
Is this mad?
Yes,
this is mad,
crazy.
isn't it? That we're here and this is the thing.
I just cannot believe that us talking about golf, you lovely lot listening and watching and subscribing, has brought us to a turret in St Andrews.
Live from the turret. The Jigger Inn is over my right shoulder, which is such a famous pub. The Jigger Inn's very famous. We've already been to the Dunvegan. We had lunch in the Dunvegan,
which
nice. Was just surrounded by pictures everywhere.
Photographs,
Sort of like a 90s Italian restaurant.
They
do that, don't they, in Soho?
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of like that. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
The Old Course Hotel behind us as well, which is obviously the roll hole, the roll hole over there.
Yeah.
It's just very special to find ourselves.
So
here.
Behind us is, I believe, 17 on the Old Course.
It is,
which
17.
Famously is the shot which the pros have to hit over the hotel. So you can just see in the corner there's some people gathered playing it as we speak. The sun is just beginning to set as well. So that is I love the fact that on... to play this incredible, prestigious course, there's still a whopping great hotel in the way on the 17th.
Yeah.
And I think, is it the road hole? Maybe it's the road hole.
Yeah, I think so.
You've got to bounce it off the wall at the end. So they're teeing off as we speak. And there's an enormous hotel behind us. So you are walking around a golf film set when you're here.
And I thought pre-coming here, I would be a bit sad that I've not played the Old. And I am a bit upset that I've not played the Old.
We've still got that to come. This is a warm-up for that.
Yeah. Hopefully going to come later this year.
Yeah.
But just being here and playing, especially when we had this on the Eden course, you were a bad shank away from the Old course. It was just there next to you.
Yes.
It feels like you're walking that hallowed ground.
And part of the magic of this place is what they do on Sundays, of course, which is it's public ground. This whole thing, it is, I think, and I don't know the legals of this, but it feels like a giant municipal course owned by the people. And it, on a Sunday, is public land and people can come and walk it. So people come out and they walk around the course. And that is as it should be.
It does have that weird thing, doesn't it? There's no golf course I've ever played is anything like this.
No, there's nowhere else.
There's nothing like it.
No, absolutely. It's this bizarre combination of incredibly private and special and, elevated and also honest, down to earth, kind of, a jewel in the crown. It's so weird.
When I've played really nice places, whether it's like Birkdale, the Birkdale hell I had, you're surrounded by the sort of people that you would imagine will play those sort of golf courses, right?
Yeah.
And Wentworth was the exact same.
Yeah.
It's not like that here at all.
No. There's a lot of ruddy-faced caddies around.
Yeah.
There's a
lot of students that are just getting into it.
There's a lot of students who play here, because I think if you're a student at St Andrews, it's like, 300 quid to be a member of St Andrews, which is mad. So, you frequently see students wandering around with a bag of clubs on their back, which is incredible. And it's just... it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm looking out. I keep getting distracted by looking at people playing the last hole of the new course. Right beneath our feet, the new course.
What are you going to take away from today?
I'm going to take away that I can play really well at the moment. I'm going to take away how, just that it's when you play courses and holes that feel like they've always been here, when the land feels like it's been fitted around holes. And just how much fun it is to play that sort of golf.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pure fun. So I really want to tune into that and enjoy that sort of that sense. What about you?
I was actually pretty happy with how I played, especially the bits of my game that normally go really wrong. This is the wild thing about my golf game, is it's almost flipped on its head. The stuff that used to be really bad was the big OBs, the big slices, the duffing it off the tee. Didn't really do any of that today. My irons were a bit wayward, so I really want to work on that for tomorrow. I just want to be a bit more clinical with stuff. You've got to be so on it here that, okay, you've got 80 yards in. Because of how big the green complexes are and how confusing they often are, you got to be next to the flag. It's not good enough just to be on the green here.
You have to really tune into this idea that golf is out to get you. and you have to accept it. You have to be very accepting of the bumps and runs that happen, because there are loads of bumps and runs. It's the most, everywhere is just bumpy, and it looks like there's a giant game of pinball going on, and you have to resign yourself to that. You cannot control. Parkland golf is much more scientific. Something like this is a lot more raw and is going to have surprises in store for you. And when those surprises happen, you hit the rough that's difficult and just off the fairway. You got to just shrug and go, that's the nature of the beast. Now I'm going to get a triple bogey. That's what happens.
It was quite playable though today.
Yeah, it was playable because the wind wasn't blowing too hard. Don't say that, because that undermines the fact I shot 10 over.
Oh, sorry, it was really difficult out there. But like when I played Woburn, for example, Woburn's a golf course that is so long at times that you're often taking, and it's a long time since I played Woburn, but my memory was always having 170, 180 in on par fours, and just grinding you down when I didn't really...
Oh, it's short. The Jubilee feels short.
Yeah, which means it's nice to play.
Yeah, it's nice to play, but it doesn't matter that it's short. It's still hard. It's still really, really hard.
Yeah, I think, I can feel like I can sum my whole game up today with a bit that I kept saying, which is I'm picking my way around this course and getting bogeys.
Yeah,
which isn't the idea.
No,
you can pick your way around this place, and I did. I was so happy with 4 woods followed by sensible 5 irons on par 5s, and then Mr. Green 3-putt. There goes my bogey.
Yeah. All it takes is that long lag putt. All it takes is that chip that just keeps rolling, and the shots slip away, and suddenly you're 12 holes in, and you're like, oh my god, I'm way over my handicap, and it does slowly sort of get its hands around your neck, and before you know it, you're like, oh my god, it's a really difficult place to play.
But if you've never been here, especially when most people listen to the podcast and the show are from the UK, do the trip. Do the day trip, do the weekend, get the Airbnb, come up, try your luck. Just being here is absolutely epic.
Definitely.
And you'll see what happens for us tomorrow. But for you, in a couple of weeks' time, this will be the first front 9 will go out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the Crail app will drop. We're
taking on Crail.
How are you feeling about Crail? What are you going to take from today for tomorrow?
That you do have blow-ups in you. So I don't need to get really worried when you're playing really good.
Okay.
Because when you're playing really good, there's no way I'm getting anywhere near you. Okay. Like when you're playing well, I'm just like, okay, well this is game over. And for the first, a lot of today, it felt like this was impossible.
Well, okay.
And it's quite nice to know that you are human, which was good. You saw some humanity out there.
Yes, cut me, I bleed. Yeah,
so I'm going to take that and just a bit of confidence. I was quite nervous today. If I'm honest
with
you.
Yes, you were nervous. Yeah,
I was really nervous because I'm not used to playing off 9. I've only just come single figures. So I was like, oh, God, have I still got that? Yeah. And I was all right with it. So I'm just going to be less nervous going forward and just know that I can enjoy it. And I really enjoyed picking my way around. So I'm just going to do that for the rest of the Scottish adventure, I think.
And I think you will improve a lot. I think, the next couple of days playing these other courses, your short game, suddenly you'll be, you'll play those chips where today they might have just rolled on a bit. Yeah. Tomorrow you'll be like, oh, that's actually an up and down. And you did get a couple of good up and downs today anyway.
Yeah, I was actually really happy with my chipping, especially from the rough. I would take these chips and they'd have a great flight. They would just roll. They would just roll 7 yards past, and I wasn't getting those putts.
No.
And that would be the difference. If I'd gone 7 yards past and converted all those putts, I'd be 5 shots better, and I'd be over the moon right now.
Exactly. And that is a really good conclusion to come to. That is all that stands between you and seriously doing well.
What are you taking for tomorrow? What's the plan?
The plan tomorrow is to... what is the plan tomorrow? Make sure my driving doesn't let me down again. My driving really let me down on the back 9.
Is there a banana a hole for you? I feel like energy would be great for you.
Yeah. I don't play well in the evenings. I just get very tired. But that's no excuse. I think, do you know what I'm going to take? The fact that I'm playing really well at the moment.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to use that and,
amazing.
Go from there. Be fun.
Well, the next time you see us will be in a month's time, as we will meet you at the Crail Clubhouse, where we're giving something away, by the way. Very exciting. There's a big giveaway in that episode. So there are 2 course vlogs to come before that, a front 9 and a back 9 at Crail, and then maybe something exciting for May, June, July, but we can't say much of that yet.
It's very, very cool indeed. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing if you're over on YouTube with us. And we'll see you very soon for more Golfers Ruining My Life nonsense.
The Scottish adventure continues.